Hello, everybody. We are live right now, guys. Mark Salinas with PYP Boxing. We will be inviting a special guest today. We are going to have Danielle Perkins. I'm going to go ahead and send her that invite right now. She should be dropping in a couple of minutes here. Little bit about Danielle, guys. She is possibly, I don't know, guys, don't quote me. We're going to ask her right now, but possibly in line to fight Clarissa Shields. Clarissa Shields did call her out. That is a fact. Clarissa Shields did call her out. So we're going to ask her about that. We're going to ask her also about, you know, she was. She was on the undercard in Detroit at that big show. So we're going to ask her about that as well. She's number 5 in the world. She's moved on really high in the rankings since we last talked to her. So we're going to go ahead and talk to her about all that stuff. And let me just go ahead and send her a text now so that she knows that we are on. And I just sent her the message. She should be on in a couple of minutes, guys. But yeah, Danielle Chambers is a heavyweight. She used to be a boxer. You can go back and see our first interview with her. Funny thing is that she was our first interview ever. She was our first interview. We got to know her. She helped us out on the next show. We were wanting to be bringing her along, for all of our weekly shows, but she's really busy. She's a boxer. She's a businesswoman. So she's got a lot going on. But we're excited to have her, guys. Maybe she can give us some insight on this week's card. This week's card is pretty big. You got Crawford going against Masvidal. You have Pitbull fighting Ryu. You got Andy Reese fighting. So you got a lot of people that are fighting. Let me go ahead and okay, she just texted me right now. She's logging on. But we got a lot to talk about with her this weekend's cards. We'll ask her to give us those predictions as well. But yeah, we'll go ahead and ask her to give us those predictions also. We have her fight here, so we're gonna go ahead and pause it until she gets on. We'll go ahead and play it as we talk to her. But let me go ahead and play some of it now for you guys, so you can see her in action. She's a really, really good fighter. She's got length. She's got great footwork. She's a stick and move athlete, real athlete, guys. She's a real athlete. Like I said, she played basketball at St. John's. She played basketball for a professional career. She was a rebound machine. So we know she's got good footwork. Like I said, look here, guys. She's a stick and move. She's tall. Crafty as well. She's very crafty and slick for her size. So she's going to be a problem, I think, if she does, face Miss Shields there. In just 4 fights, she's become 5th in the world, but she's not new she's not new to boxing. She's in the amateurs for quite a while. She is on right now, but her device is not connected. She's having some problems, technical difficulties. I see her here. Let me go ahead and ask her to log out and log in. But once again, man, it's Danielle Perkins. Oh, here she is. Okay, great. Hey, bud, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Long time no hear from you. I mean, I know we've kept in touch through text and all, but we haven't actually spoken to you. Thank you so much for joining us, man. I am sure that it's been a crazy, crazy week for you.
Yeah, no, it's actually been pretty good.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty good week.
Listen, man, I was talking to the people. We're on live. I was talking to the people about you, letting them know who you were, and we had an interview with you a year ago. I told them to refer to that so they can see that and see who you are. But we wanted to get uh, to your current status here. You had a fight last week on the zone in Detroit on a big, big card. How was that, man? How was that? Was that fun? Was it a big event? I mean, how was that event?
No, it was great. This is the first time fighting on the zone, but I fought a couple times on a Salida card.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Clarissa have like a decent professional relationship, so it was nice to see her. Um, and a lot of the fighters that are originally when I first started working or getting on like Salida cards have all like moved on, but it was good to see Clarissa and Salida. It was nice.
Yeah, we see you in action here. Who's the gentleman with you in the corner?
That's my coach, Darnell Pierce. He's also Darius Fulgham's coach. I mean, and also Zach Spiller,
Uh huh.
Martell. There's a handful of us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You always create a lot of good boxing relationships, man. Not only are you a great boxer, but you're kind of like a statesman for the sport, man. You're friends with everybody. Milwaukee Maid knows you. Everybody knows you.
Yeah, no, it's kind of interesting because like when I was when I was an amateur and like going around Team USA, I always had an opportunity to like get to know like some of the top fighters because they would come into camp, sit and talk to them. I mean, I'm generally, I mean,
Yeah.
outside of the ring, I'm a very, very, very nice person.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're watching you here, not being too nice to Miss Ferry here. How did this fight go for you?
Well, she was tough.
Yeah.
Um, Boxrec has like her record all the way messed up because it's like she
No,
had
no, you were into against a tough opponent, man. You could tell the level of talent, the skill level in the ring right here. Where we're watching, both of you guys are top level fighters. You were in there with a tough person.
yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I had a good time with her. Um, the weigh-in was kind of crazy. She was I never really had anyone talk crap to me like at a weigh-in, so it was usually people are like, I'm not gonna poke the bear. I'm just
Uh
gonna
huh.
just fight. And she was like, no, you're in for the fight of your life. This is gonna be the fight of the night. You're not ready for this. And then she pushed me, and I was like, is she crazy?
Oh man.
She said, you gotta be crazy. I said, well, at first I was gonna, box you, but now I'm gonna beat your ass. So
Yeah, we see you here laying a lot of strong lefts on her, and you're working the body. You're hammering that body. I know she's feeling those. Hey, so um, you know, talk to us about why the long layoff. I heard you explain it to others. How difficult it is, not only for you, but for a lot of heavyweights to get scheduled fights. You made a comment on another interview I saw um, that you're a professional. You're professional in camp.
yeah,
Talk to us about that. Why has it been so difficult for you to get I hear you have been in camp, what, 4 or 5 times, but you've only had 2 fights?
yeah. So it was interesting. So I'm like I'm the mandatory for the WBC heavyweight title. I have the silver belt.
Mm-hmm.
So the interim heavyweight, and so like there were 5 or 6 like fights scheduled with Hannah Gabriel's, and it was just like an absolute nightmare constantly having to like find like promoters, and then
Mm-hmm.
every time it was like she needed more money. Like we offered her a 60-40 split like on $100,000, and like people make terrible deals with like their management and whatnot, but that's not it has nothing to do with me. So we had the fights, and there was to the point where we were getting ready for blood work, and then she
Mm-hmm.
like pretended that she had COVID and got on Instagram and was like shadow boxing and working out. Like it was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
um so then it was like, all right, that was like 3 years of like ridiculousness. So then we were petitioning, having conversations with the WBC about, basically setting up a fight. And then out of nowhere, it seems like Jonas, Vanessa, all of a sudden, like, is fighting for the title. We're like, what is going on? And who is this girl? She's not a heavyweight. I mean, she's like 170 pounds and like 5'1". Like, this is not a heavyweight. Does not have the optics of a heavyweight. And she ended up fighting a girl who was fighting at middleweight in Canada.
Oh man.
And that decision was like iffy at best. A lot of people were pissed that she won the fight, because it was like a terrible decision.
Yeah.
And then she ends up fighting Clarissa and rolling around on the floor for like 2 rounds. Like, it was like ridiculous. Like, it's not an elite fighter, not an elite fight, not even competitive. Shit was garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, we're watching this, and you're pretty much around this round. You're putting a big beating on her. This was a big round for you. Um, you can tell she's having trouble breathing right there. Break this round down for us.
Yeah, I broke her nose.
Ooh.
So the thing is, the first round, I literally let her. I just wanted to see, like, pretty much where she was in terms of like range, because on a box rec it says that she's 5'9". This girl's 6 feet tall. We're the same height.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's not 5'9". She's not five
Ooh.
nine. We're the same height. The commentator breaks down a bunch about how, it's the size difference. I was like, I weighed in at 175. She weighed in at 177. Like,
Yeah.
you
She's
know,
a big
size
girl.
difference. Yeah, no, she's not small. And as an
Uh,
amateur, she was a heavyweight overseas. So this is a heavyweight fight.
yeah.
So I wanted to see like what the distance was, what her footwork was, like how savvy she was, speed, cadence of her punches the first round. And I came out the second round and I told her that I found her. I said, I found you, and now I'm not gonna let you go.
Yeah, you can
Um,
tell this round you were just walking through with confidence. You have a lot of confidence here that your punches are landing, and a lot of confidence that you're doing damage. Not even worried. I mean, I'm sure you're worried about getting hit, but I don't see you worried about anything that's landing on you at all. You're just walking right through them. Yeah. So talk to us about Salida Promotions. A lot of people don't know who they are. Talk to us about who they are and how did you get involved with them?
oh no, I'm not involved with them. My promoter is Marshall.
Okay.
Marshall Kaufman. But the thing that happened with the WBC was, um, like, for me to step aside for the fight, I had to be put on the card to fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I would fight the winner of um like the main event. Like,
Right.
that's the agreement.
Right.
So
So you're with Marshall Kaufman. Thank you for clearing that up. Where's Marshall Kaufman out of?
he's out of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a Philly dude. He's the card that I fought on in March was a King's promotion card,
Uh-huh.
and the only reason I literally fought on this card is because of the agreement that I had with the WBC.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, there's no problem. I have no problem with Toledo. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
No, yeah, yeah. I just, thank you for clearing that up. People watch this and they'll automatically assume that you're with Salida.
mm-mm, no.
Now, and then, people are mentioning your names in press conferences. So I'm glad you cleared that up for some people to know that you're with Marshall Kaufman because, let's get back to that. People are calling out your name. Mrs. Clarissa Sheilds called your name out in the press conference. And I couldn't believe my ears. I was actually dozing off. I was dozing off. It was kind of a late press conference. And I heard her say, I think the question was, "What's next for you? Are you going to stay at heavyweight?" She says, "Yes. I think I'm going to fight Danielle Perkins."
Yeah.
And what is that all about? I got excited. Talk to us. What's that all about?
Well, I mean, the thing is that, like, me and Clarissa had a brief conversation over in Instagram, and I asked her if she was gonna stay at the weight class and if she wanted to fight, and she's game. She was like, "Yeah." And I have a lot of respect for somebody coming up a bunch of weight classes, and I'm not an easy fight. I'm not Jonas at all.
Yeah.
And she's willing to gamble for it. I mean, confidence of a fighter is no gamble, right? You take a fight, you don't gamble, you believe in yourself. But like someone like me is like who get I could give I don't care. So that's even more dangerous. I'm like, oh, good shot. I'm like talk to this girl. I was like, oh, nice, coming
Yeah.
right back. So yeah, no, so yeah, I'm her mandatory for the WBC. And I think it'll be a good fight because it's going to be speed versus power. I'm 6 feet tall. She's like 5'7", maybe 5'8".
Yeah.
Um, there's just two different fight styles coming. And I think it ends up being a big fight, and it has opportunity for multiple fights.
Right, right. Yeah, it would be a very big fight, and I think a lot of people would be interested in it because she's actually going to have a live opponent in front of her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She really doesn't have a live opponent in front of her quite often, and she's going to have an all-world athlete in front of her and an experienced fighter that's been around the world. And yeah, the size difference and look, we spoke about it on our last show. For your size, though, we think you can box and you're slick as well. So you have it all. It's going to be a tough fight for her. Would you agree?
Oh yeah. I mean, but like two folds. I got like someone who's gonna fly across with like fairy wings and like try to smack every dread off my head. Like she's not gonna be. It's not gonna be a one-sided fight. That's for
No,
sure.
no, yeah, because she's smart.
Yeah, she's smart. She has a good boxing IQ, but the thing about it is, it's like everybody has a plan. Like Mike Tyson says, until they get hit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
people either get knocked out or they get beat to death. Like, that's pretty much how my fights go.
yeah, yeah. And now, yeah, we're watching it live right now. Now, listen, obviously,
Oh, that uppercut. Sick.
yeah, that one did it. Um, Now, you may fight this girl, and obviously, we don't want her to win that next fight. But talk to us about how important she is in history for boxing. I mean, I don't know, people realize how big the things that she's doing is. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. She's a two division undisputed champion in the four belt era, correct?
Yeah.
And she's possibly only one other human being that I know. Maybe there's more, I don't know. But in the past 47 years that I've been alive, it's only been Roy Jones who wins a middleweight and a heavyweight, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean,
Do you think she's like, I don't want to say like Serena? Well, yeah, I mean she's Serena-esque, Michael Jordan-esque as far as hardware. I mean, would you say like, God, man, the amount of championships and the things that she's doing, you can compare her to things like Michael Jordan and Serena Williams.
well, I don't know. Like, so if I was gonna compare it, like Serena Williams has always like had the best competition in front of her,
Right.
right?
Okay.
Michael Jordan has had like top tier. I mean, there's other Hall of Famers across on the other side of the court. Like
Mhm.
there's no question. Like, pick a
Right.
team.
Okay. I get where
You
you're
know what
coming
I mean?
from.
So
Yeah.
like the comparison, like the accolades are different, but what I'm saying, they are what they are. They're a list of accolades, but it doesn't match up with what you're seeing in terms of opportunity. And like women's boxing is coming to a place where that's a possibility, but we're
Yeah.
not we're not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had this argument with David, but he didn't put it quite as well as you did. I agree with you. Yeah. The accolades is not everything. He didn't put it like that. We argued for like an hour. He's like, stop it when you're saying Michael Jordan. Stop that right there. He's like, you're not comparing her to Michael Jordan. I get what you're saying. If he would have just said, hey, Michael Jordan faced Hall of Famers, we wouldn't have had an hour argument over it. But I see what you're saying. But yeah, awards wise, she's getting up there. Awards wise, wow. But you're looking to put a stop to that, and you're not afraid to say it.
No, I feel like it's I wouldn't go into the middleweight division because that's not where I belong, right? I belong in the heavyweight division. I'm a heavyweight clearly. Anyone stepping in this square with me is going to receive the same treatment,
Hmm.
regardless of the amount of respect I have for you outside the ring and the accomplishments. I feel like it's fair and safe to say that as a heavyweight, this is my division.
Yeah, yeah. Now, obviously, I mean, I'm thinking so. I'm thinking Vegas is gonna be really wrong. I honestly, last night on the show, I picked you to win. I think you would win. I honestly think that Vegas is probably gonna have it wrong and have her a heavy favorite because people just don't know your name.
Well, yeah, I mean, also like, if you were to like label, who's who and what's been accomplished, yeah, it's different. Like, the biggest threat so far they thought in terms of heavy punches was Savannah Marshall,
Yeah,
and she didn't deliver at all. The person who came out and gave her like the best fight out of all of them was Franchon, because Hannah Gabriel's only, one round, she came out and she like, she put Clarissa on the floor, and then Clarissa dragged her for 9 rounds straight. So like people
yeah,
were like, I want a rematch. I was like, of what? Like Clarissa won every single round except for one. She had a 10-8 round, and then it was 10-9 for the rest of the rounds. Like she boxed that woman until like the end of time. So a rematch is just ridiculous.
yeah.
Um, so she hasn't had like a really good fight since Franchon, and that, well, I can't say that because Hammer I thought gave her a really good fight. I thought that was a tough fight, but I also thought that was like the sharpest version of Clarissa that we've seen since then. Like she's realized that she doesn't have to really put that much effort in to be so much better than everybody else that she fights.
Right, right. Yeah. And you explaining that does further change my mind of the accolades, and it's really who she has in front of her as well. Now, um that fight is it, obviously she's going to be a heavy favorite.
Hmm.
You beat her, there's going to be an automatic rematch. um this is something huge is what I'm saying. If you beat her, everybody in the boxing world is going to know your name, and a lot of Fairweather fans are going to know your name. If you beat her, it'll be all over, even ESPN. It'll make, boxing is a niche sport as it is.
Yeah.
Women's boxing is even more of a niche sport. You beat this girl, it's on ESPN that night.
Yeah, but I
That's how
mean,
big of a fight it is.
here's the thing that me and my coach were talking about, right? It has buzz, but then it also has like tons of criticism because people are going to be like, Crystal doesn't belong in that weight class. Like that's a traditional heavyweight. That
Right.
like she went up in a weight class. It was pretty much a gamble. This girl fights at this weight class. She's only fought at this weight class. So, like the the shock is if she wins. The shock is not if she loses. She's not
Right.
supposed to win, right?
That's
People
true.
not knowing anything about boxing, that's fine. But the reality of all people who know boxers, and even like the people who know me, are like, well, what the hell is Clarissa doing in the ring with Danielle?
Yeah, I mean I agree. I said the same thing. Honestly, I think your athleticism is you're too long. You're not only are you tall, you're too long. Um, and your in and out style and your slickness with combined with your power, because I think you're just as slick as she could be. Um, and you're way more powerful. I know that. I really don't see her winning. But people, we can't doubt her either. I mean, she's
No,
ridiculously smart
no,
and
we
she's got
can't.
a ton of experience. But I do think you would take it. So you're preparing yourself already for if you do win, people are probably going to say, nah, you know,
Like,
she
no, that
didn't
girl,
belong in that.
yeah, she's 6 feet tall. She was like a world champion, heavyweight boxer. But like the idea, like that we don't get some criticism, and everyone's gonna think that we're so great is gonna be like it's not real. And you
Right.
kind of get the bully effect, like, oh, you beat up on Clarissa, like what were you thinking? But then of course there'll be all this media hype for a rematch, and then people kind of criticizing that she shouldn't take the rematch
Yeah.
because yeah, it has opportunity for like money fights in the future with like other fighters like Savannah Marshall, maybe Franchon Cruz, maybe Shadeja. Those
Yeah,
people taking the risk and stepping in, but I don't really see like how the next steps with Clarissa, like why she would even bother.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right.
Especially if she gets like some of these punches, they're gonna be like,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, especially if she gets those lefts, man. I just think you're too long for Clarissa. You're way more athletic, and the in and out style and the footwork is going to be the keys to victory if you do fight her. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not going to ask you what you're going to got going on. We don't want to put it out there, but I really do think you're going to be too much for her. I really do. Yeah, I mean
yeah,
this. You were too much for this girl, and I really thought this girl was a game opponent.
yeah, no, she was game. It was just like
I
she had,
honestly think that she's probably. I mean, I've seen all of your fights, and I
yeah,
think she's the one that did the best against you.
yeah, no, I think she watched all my fights too, and she was like, I think that I'm ready, and I told her she's not.
Hey, at this moment when you guys are joking and right before the bell rings and you're kind of tapping her on the chin, what's going on there?
I said you're fucking crazy. And she was like, yeah, she was like, yeah, yeah, I am. She said, you can hit me with a sledgehammer. I was like, I did.
And you ended up calling out Clarissa right after this, right?
Yeah, twice, like once in the to the camera in the ring, and then with the reporter on the outside who I think I scared her. Like I came out the ring and she was like, well, good fight. We'll have you in the back for like some energy drinks. Ma'am, I don't need energy drinks. I'm rushing with adrenaline. I just had a fight.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask you about this one, man. Right here on the ropes. Did that one connect right there?
Yeah, it connected. I
Yeah.
wanted it was the first round, so I wanted to see what the power was and everything. So I took some off by pushing my hips back.
Yeah, but you kind
Um,
of just wanted to gauge the power.
yeah, I wanted to gauge the power a little bit, and then I just, sat there for a second to see what she was gonna do next, and she ended up throwing 2 shots, three
Yeah.
shots up top, and I was like, "Oh, that's your game plan, body head, great."
Yeah. Yeah, you took this girl out, but I honestly think she was a game opponent, but I don't think anybody's got anything to do with you in the heavyweight division. I think you're the best heavyweight female in the world. I
Thank
really
you.
do. Now, how did it feel to be back in the ring after such a long layoff?
Oh, felt great. I mean, well, this was my second fight this year. First fight I had this year in El Paso, I got TKO in the second round. Um, but this chick, like her corner kept when I was watching the fight, I watched because Salita sent me the fight. He's like, "Hey, the zone posted. Hey, I just wanted it." He emailed it to me. I took a look at it, and her corner's like, "She's tired. You're wearing her out." I'm like, "I'm standing in the corner. I'm not even drinking water or huffing and puffing. Like, what is this guy looking at?"
Yeah. Man, listen, it's after the fight. I see you walking around there. You have a look on your face like you just left the best party in the world. Why do you look so you look happy? I mean, you look like you're having a good time in there. You're not smart, but your body tone, you're having a good time right there.
Oh, I'm having the
That's a
best
good time
time.
right there.
Yeah, I'm having the best time. I'm grateful.
Even
I'm
when the
going.
fight is going on, you look like you're having a great time during the fight. Afterwards, you're energetic. Look at you.
Yes. I am having a great time. I was laughing and joking. Like she's the first person who I've ever spoke to in the ring, and they started talking back. So we were having a conversation literally the whole time. That girl is
that,
crazy.
that you calling her out right there?
Yeah, I said I want the quote.
Yeah, man. I was sipping the Kool Aid big time. She's the quote. My partner says he hasn't seen enough to be calling her that, and I really think so. And we even had a debate on if she would have beat Layla Ali. I think she would have.
Yeah, she'd beat Layla Ali, and Layla Ali was like
She
90.
started too old. I mean,
Yeah.
she didn't. Not only did she start too old, but she didn't have an athletic background.
Nah, she moved very robotic and like
Mhm.
very like her dad. The thing about it is Ali was the best boxer to ever come out of that family. Anyone
Yeah.
after Muhammad Ali is not that good.
Yeah, 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 we're getting yeah, that even the kid that they're pushing now, the grandson.
Walsh? Yeah, nah, that kid's not good.
Yeah, I don't. He ain't it. He ain't
Nah,
it,
he
man. He
don't
ain't
have
it.
the juice for
So
sure.
listen, man. I really appreciate you coming on. We won't keep you too much longer. I just want to ask you about tomorrow. First one I want to ask you about is the heavyweights. Andy Reese is gonna fight Big Baby Miller, or one of the Millers.
Yeah, yeah, nah, yeah. So it's crazy because like Jarrell Miller, he was actually supposed to fight Joshua, and
Uh-huh.
And he tested positive, and Louise is the guy who stepped in, and then of course beat Joshua. Right? It's crazy that they're fighting
Yeah.
because Luis is so fast, right? He has such quick hands. He kind of reminded, if you want to be honest, if I want to be honest, he is similar to Clarissa Shields. Like
Yeah.
he has short arms, he's not that big, so he has to run in and he has to also kind of gamble a little bit and take a bunch of like take gamble, take punches, but also like deliver a lot of shots real quickly because he has to be quickly on the way in and then punch on the way out.
Right.
Now Jarrell Miller is like, he's throwing hammers, right? He's basically got a sawed-off shotgun at the end. It doesn't reload quickly. So if he misses, if he misses twice, the reload's gonna take a while. He doesn't have it in him, and he's also in like terrible shape. So this is gonna be a battle of like recovery. I think if because like Dubois put Jarrell down, what was it, like the eighth round when
Yeah.
they fought?
Yeah. It was the eighth round.
Yeah, so I don't know. Louise is not as conditioned as Dubois. Like that guy's in great shape. So this, if it ends up being a slugfest of someone being inside, like Luis is gonna have to stay very, very tight and like apply pressure with a lot of bunches of punches against Jarrell. But
Yeah.
I don't know. The fight is gonna be ugly as hell. It's not gonna be as exciting as Big Baby, as Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson is fighting a dude who fought Michael Hunter, and Michael Hunter beat him. And to me, Michael Hunter is a very different fighter than Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson is he's in great shape. He's young. He's long. He's got great power punches. He can mix shots up. So I think Jarrell knocks this dude out.
Right. Okay. Now, what about the big one? You got Crawford going against Masvidal,
Mhm.
but man, Masvidal has Joel Diaz, who beat Canelo with Bival, and Masvidal was his sparring partners. You got the same team essentially who was able to figure out Canelo,
Mhm.
and Masvidal only has 10 fights, but this dude had like 300 amateur fights. I honestly, truly believe that Joel Diaz is gonna pull this one out.
I don't know. On the pound for pound list, I have Crawford as number one.
Yeah. So you think Crawford will beat Masvidal easy?
Thing about someone who's really strong and who can lift heavy means they got good grip, and a good grip makes a good fist.
Okay. Um. So yeah, yeah, man. He's. I mean, I just think Joel Diaz, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I really, in my beliefs, I think a hell of a trainer can pull something out of a guy, and I think Masvidal is perfect. And I think, in my opinion, Joel Diaz is probably, if not the best, one of the best trainers in there. But he's going against Bomac too, who's good as well.
Right.
Do you think that trainers really have a lot to do with it? Like, I honestly think a trainer has like everything to do with it. Like, if I see a Joel Diaz fighting a Crawford that didn't have a Bomac, I would say for sure Masvidal was going to win. That's how much I put on trainers.
Okay.
Do you think Joel can help him at all?
Well, I mean, the thing about a trainer in training is that when you get in the ring, it, like there's things that are going to be reaction. But here's the thing, right? What you could be training for, they could be training for something totally different. So your preparation could be off. Like
Right.
you don't really kind of know what you're dealing with and the opportunity that you have to kind of like either set the pace or be in control until the first round, and they could pull something out of hat like Sean Porter and they come out one round one way, change styles another way.
Right.
He could, you don't know. Thing with Bud is he gonna come out southpaw?
Yeah.
Is he gonna fight orthodox? This dude has knocked people out with both hands,
He has. Yeah. He did
right?
another round. I think he knocked down Spence with both
Left
hands.
hand. He
Yeah.
remember switch
Yeah.
to
He
southpaw.
left hand. Yeah. Yeah.
So his last 11 opponents have been finished.
Uh
He
huh.
finished his last 11 opponents. He knocked them out. So, and that's right-handed and left-handed. He thing about it is you have a guy that you think you're fighting someone right-handed, and he shows up to the fight and switches southpaw. You had not been preparing for that.
Yeah. 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 So you okay? So you got Crawford winning a decision. Do you think Crawford's gonna knock him out?
Well, the thing about being an amateur is that you have your headgear. There ain't no headgear. There ain't no 300 pounds.
Oh man, ain't no love for Masvidal here.
Not zero.
Oh man, I just think a lot about Joel Diaz, and but another friend of mine again, he brought up, hey man, remember he's got Bomac, and people forget. Oh shoot,
Yeah,
Crawford does have
Bomac's
Bomac,
good.
right?
That guy
Yeah,
is good. He also has a good team. He's a
yeah,
humble guy.
yeah,
A lot of respect for people who the thing about people who don't have an ego, that they're open to like giving you the best opportunity for you to be as successful, regardless if it's with them or not.
yeah, yeah. Now we got another one. I don't know if you Pitbull is fighting Ryu. A lot of people are
Yeah,
picking Ryu, but I think Pitbull's going to
yeah.
take him. There's no way you can
Wow.
hit Pitbull. This dude's guard, the way he does that old
Yeah,
Mike Tyson guard, and he does that guard perfect. He never lets it go. He's so hard to penetrate. And I think he does have a Mike Tyson-esque head movement,
hmm,
but he's all about that overhand right. But it will connect
yeah.
at one point. Um, he had
But
a
what if
little
it
trouble with
doesn't?
Cabrera, but I think he's going to beat Ryu. I think he's going to knock him out. What do you think?
Well, the thing about Ryu is that he understands distance, and then I don't know if you saw the face off. There's a incredible disparity between height and wingspan. So if Pitbull with his guard, if he just keeps his feet and keeps his distance, it'll be a boring fight.
Mm-hmm.
Ryu wins by decision, a boring fight because Pitbull has to gamble. He has to. He has to jump out of place. And if he doesn't engage, right, he doesn't have an opportunity to have an exchange. So he just keeps managing the distance, keeps controlling the fight, keeps forcing him to miss, using
Right,
hand control and foot control to push him out the way. And all of a sudden, you got a boring fight, but he
right,
wins.
right. Danielle, I had a friend of mine. His name's Carlos Jackson, 126 pounder. He wanted to. He asked me if he could come on, ask you a few questions. Hell of a guy, Carlos. That's my carnal. What's up, carnal?
I'm good. How you doing, B? No
Listen, man, I
talk.
had to talk to you. A long time no talk, man. How have you been? Listen, Danielle, I know we've had you for a while, but Carlos is a good friend. He wanted to ask you a couple questions. Carlos, Danielle is number 5 in the world heavyweight, and it looks like she's gonna go give Clarissa Shields the business. You got any questions for her?
Listen, I hope do it. I believe you can do it, Clarissa. I like Clarissa. I like Clarissa. She's nothing wrong with her. But I
Very
think you
good.
can do it. I think you can pull it off. Me watching you, I'm pretty positive you can pull it off.
You familiar with Danielle?
Yeah.
Yeah, Danielle, are you familiar with Carlos?
I know everybody by like when I see them in the gym. I cannot really put my finger on anybody outside the
Yeah.
gym. It's almost like you guys are wearing like costumes.
Carlos is a badass. Carlos 21, one of the top 126ers, right? 122, 126.
122 at this point. Yeah,
Yeah,
122.
right
Oh,
now he's one of the
122.
top
Goodness.
122s. He's only got one loss to world champ. Who was Pedraza, right?
No, Enrique Vivas.
Enrique Vivas.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
geez.
yeah.
a panda fighter. But hey, shoot, Carlos, here she is, man. Any questions you got?
How's training going?
Good. Back in the gym on Monday.
what is their preparation as far as when you're in the gym contemplating about fighting Clarissa? Because you know Clarissa right now, she's the greatest woman of all time, the greatest woman fighter of all time. And by you fighting her, what is going like when you training for her? What is going through your mind? Like in all honesty,
Well, I mean, nothing
I know the
really.
answer to this one.
I want to say nothing really goes through my mind. I feel like, I mean, you know, this as a fighter, like the night of the fight is really how everything pieces together, right? So like you can prepare, you have your set of things that you practice, and essentially, I swear, when I walk into the ring, I have no idea how it all clicks together, but it seemed like the pieces just kind of like a puzzle, just round after round, just kind of make the picture kind of come into place. So I don't necessarily train or never really trained for the fighter. I've always trained to make sure like I get the most out of me, right? Because if I focus on you, like I said before, with other like the other fighters, you could switch it up on me, and now I'm like not actually prepared. Like my confidence is in myself isn't there. But if I prepare for the best version of me, like you can't beat that.
I like that. I like that question. That's a nice. I like that one because that's saying I prepared to be the best version of myself, the best version
Yeah.
of me when I'm in that ring. Regardless of my opponent, whatever you switch, whatever you do, I'm gonna adjust to it.
Right.
What is Do you feel as though like you're going to be all right? Here's the thing, all right, because you know Clarissa, she talks a lot. I like Clarissa, like I like Clarissa. No shade towards her. I like Clarissa. I like what she does. She definitely is a very, very great fighter right now.
Hmm.
What are you bringing to the ring that's going to be different that she's never seen?
Presence, stature, and like the reality is like um my intimidation factor doesn't come from me talking at all.
You ain't gonna you do look mean. You do look like somebody that's mean, yo. You do look mean. And the crazy part is, I train at Clarissa with the gym because I train in Atlanta and she's training with at my gym right now. That's the wild part.
Hmm.
So I watched her train for her last fight, and I watched her spar two guys that I know.
Hmm.
And are you sparring the same? Do you spar guys or do you just spar like just women in general?
So like during the week, I have like my male sparring partners that I work with, you know, like to make sure I keep the speed and like the reaction time for the head movement because it's no effort with females to slip a punch. Like you can do it dead tired because they're slow. And that's just the fact. Like even especially after you hit somebody, like with men, sometimes I feel like they sharpen up once you hit them with a nice clean shot. Like right, they would be coming in and they're like, oh, you know, I gotta deal with Danielle today, and I nail a couple of shots, and they sharpen up immediately. Right, I hit a female real hard. All of a sudden, all the shots get real slow.
Yeah, I know
You
exactly
know,
what you mean.
they start to curl up in the corner, and I need to see that because when it causes me to fight a different fight if I fight the fight when I'm fighting the males because then it's just like I start to get on the defensive, and I'm not going to stand there and fight in front of you because I know I've nailed these couple of shots, and now it's definitely time to sharpen up. Like the idea that I'm gonna stand there and be able to get 3, 4 shots off or press you and punch you with a body shot. That's not a reality at all with a male when I'm sparring a male. But with a female, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna break her back on these ropes, and that's just what it's gonna be.
I feel it.
Um,
Yeah.
so it has to be a combination. So on Fridays, I spar with, we do like, I do like, sometimes I'll do like 10 or 12 rounds with the females, and I do like 4 or 5 with the male.
Ooh. So
Yeah.
a full 16 rounds.
Yeah, we call it the gauntlet.
I ain't mad at it. I
Hey
like
Danielle, you know, I spend a lot of time in Houston, talk to a lot of people. I talked to Jay Prince, I talked to Marquise Taylor, always hanging out at that Red Owl,
Hmm.
you know, the owl's nest out there. Man, you're becoming kind of just like a Houston boxer. There's a big Houston movement coming around. There's a lot of good talent coming out of Houston, but everybody around town knows you. Uh, Jared, Big Baby Anderson, the real Big Baby Anderson, Shakur.
Yeah.
They're kind of adopting you guys in Houston. Have you felt the love in Houston? I hear people talking about you. They're rooting for you in Houston. They want you to be world champ. It seems like they've adopted you. Are you a Houstonian now or what?
Yeah, no, I mean, officially from Brooklyn, but I mean, I've made my way around like I used to train at J Prince, and every time I go to J Prince and like do some sparring, they always show love. Like these because I mean, realistically, it's a dangerous spot for me to go rolling up to because it's like there's no females there. So I
I
roll
get
up, I gotta. Yeah, I'm walking into, I got my sheeps,
And
hat
there's
on, but,
absolute dogs in that gym. Everybody's a
no,
dog in that gym.
I
it's the
heard.
Lions Den. So like it used to be Main Street, but now it's just Prince Gym. So I walk in there, you gotta be prepared to be in the Lions Den. And I've had some good showings in that place. So I've got some decent respect, because I'm not just some big goofball who shows up throwing some like playing around punches. Like, nah, we're gonna fight. And the thing about it is also like if I get dropped, I get my ass up and we back in there. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving the round. I'm not done with the sparring. The rounds that we getting is the rounds that we getting. So if you put me down, you're gonna have to kill me because I'm getting up.
Ooh, I love that attitude. I love that.
So
Listen, let me ask you one question. One more question before I get out of here. When you beat Clarissa Shields, because that's going to put you on the map, literally on the map, you're going to be the greatest woman of all time. At that point, in my opinion, you will have to
Yeah, man.
beat her because you beat the greatest woman right now. When you riding, are you going to literally celebrate by listening to Lil Kiki from Houston, or are you going to be listening to Biggie from Brooklyn?
Oh man, we got her. Yeah, Carlos, I put you on the spot all the time. We got her on the
yeah,
spot.
nah,
What's
I'm not
up?
gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm riding out to Megan Thee Stallion Savage.
I feel
Oh,
it. I love
yeah.
it. I love it. I'm gonna be tuned in. Listen, I really wish the best for you, Danielle. I really hope you pull it off. I believe you can definitely pull it off because looking at you, you definitely look like you got the dog in you. You in J Prince gym. I was in there before. There's nothing but dogs in there. Nothing but them. So
Yeah.
you definitely training around some killers right now. So keep your head in the game. Don't worry about the hype, the bullshit that Clarissa say about. Keep focused and go drill it and go make everybody proud, baby.
Appreciate
Yeah, man, and
it.
make sure you keep in touch with me and Carlos. I know this fight's gonna be easy to make. You said y'all talked on IG, y'all agreed. You called her out this Saturday. She called you out. When you guys are heading into it, make sure you do an interview with me and Carlos as you're getting closer to the fight.
Well, fingers crossed you'll be there.
All right. Oh yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I hope I do. I hope. I want to see that shit. That's gonna be live. It's gonna be big.
Yeah, man. We're gonna see history, man. We're gonna see history.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You're gonna create history, Danielle.
Yeah, man.
Danielle, thank you. Congratulations on your big win this weekend on the zone, and congratulations on everything that's coming up. Carlos, we got to get together this week and do something, man.
Listen, I got some big news coming up next week. It's a big I'm not even gonna say what's going on. I got some big news next week. Good fight days coming up. I'm gonna hit you up next week. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna do the interview on it. I got it. It's gonna be live. I'm back on it. We're gonna end the new. They about to say end the new.
Oh man. All right, man. We're that close. All right, let's go. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. Danielle, good luck and everything, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys later. Bye, Carlos.
All right, Danielle.
Bye-bye.